Again, the last time that Sacred Heart scored a goal in this game, 11:42 remaining in the second quarter. Ball out of bounds, so Wagner will have possession. Wagner since then have gone on the 5-goal run. A natural hat trick from Megan Greco and a goal each for Katie Syverson and Ella Marino.
Great patience on the check there from Sacred Heart. Fantastic cause turnover and a ground ball.
Bledsoe breakout here. Werlau wants it at the near wing.
They didn't have numbers, but if they did have numbers, I'd really like to see them push the ball. Sacred Heart's really going to want to try to force a mistake from this Wagner defense, who has been just stellar all game long.
Yeah, it's something that we saw a bit from Sacred Heart against St. Francis on Thursday. Run transition, but it just has not happened here today. Ella Kittredge again with both of the team's goals. Goes back to Werlau, is trying to isolate against Aileen Hannon. It's offensive versus defensive player of the year. Werlau loses the ball. Angelina Skaronsky has it. And she absorbs contact and will go the other way. I mean, you have to put your hands up and say that Wagner have done a tremendous job at isolating Werlau and taking her out of this game. In transition, look goes wide of the mark from Kelsey Scheidel. But an errant pass will allow Farace to pick it back up. And we've seen Sacred Heart, Abby, take other looks and create some sort of different paths to goal. But again, I can't remember the last time that they had a shot on goal that counted, because we did have a crease violation, that was in a corner. Everything has been at DeStefano.
Everything's been at DeStefano. It's been very readable. They need to throw some fakes on it. Again, this is just such a strong Wagner defense. They're so confident in their 1v1 defense that they're not sending the doubles early, and it's not allowing for easy backside goals.
And that finally ends the scoring drought as Grace Reinhold able to put that one home as Werlau turned from usual goal scorer to facilitator.
This is a fantastic goal for the Pioneers. You know, they're constantly looking for those drives up top. Now they're realizing down by the crease, all the attention's up top. You're going to have some looks down low if you can pass the ball off low.
It stops nearly a half-hour-long scoring drought for Sacred Heart. There's bad news, good news about that scenario. You never want a half-hour scoring drought. That's to say the least. The good news is they're still within 2 goals. So really, you kind of just forget about the past. You've spoken about it a lot this weekend. Short-term memory in this sport.
Short-term memory is critical. Once you make a mistake, you can't harp on it. You can learn from it. You can take a moment to think about it, think about how you're going to fix it, but you got to move on to the next play.
A long draw. Possession, Sacred Heart on the violation. And I believe Dave Schiffman, the official, said that there was a circle entry violation, a player that stepped in too early before the whistle went. That's something you don't see all that often, but he was adamant at pointing to the spot. So Sacred Heart now, a chance here to make it a 1-goal game. And McKittredge, but right at DeStefano.
Again, they're really harping on these 1v1 drives. We saw in the previous goal, when they draw the attention up for the 1v1 drive, it's going to allow pockets of space to open down low by the goal. That one just, you know, an easy high-to-high release to Stefano, picking it off like a pass.
DeStefano now credited with 11 saves. And that's in this game, 16 in the tournament, or excuse me, 26 in the tournament. And still with another 11 and change left to go in the 4th here. Pass from low to high. Emily Wasaki with Ella Marino. has an option in Scheidel. Good ball movement and a response from Wagner. It was just a little late to slide over, and eventually they found the open seam. Katie Syverson right back. So as you were here, after Sacred Heart got a little bit of momentum back, now it's back to a 3-goal game with 11 minutes left.
Credit to the official there, taking the time to explain his decision-making and explain the call to the Sacred Heart student-athletes. Oftentimes you don't see officials doing that, and they just, encourage the students to get back on the line and resume play.
Foul on Wagner from the draw. The Sacred Heart, I thought immediately gave back possession, but a foul against 24 Ryan Murphy. Now we're getting to the cliche part, but I don't think Sacred Heart can have any good possessions at this stage in the game that doesn't get a goal, as an offside against Wagner will reset the shot clock. So now we play.
Sacred Heart again looking for this 1v1 drive. They had a flip pass earlier that worked in their favor.
It's Kelly Nolan drawing the eyes of Hannon. The foul, this one outside the arc.
They're calling for a push there, but arguably that was pretty good defense. There was probably just a last-minute extension of the arms is what the official called there.
Now Kittredge isolating. Back to Lydia Werlau, and it's been held scoreless. She dodges 2 and scores! That one just snuck by to Stefano, makes it back to a 2-goal game.
Werlau with such a hard shot. I think the Stefano may have even gotten a piece of it, but not able to get her stick down for long enough to even just smother the ball. Good little 1-2 step. Finish low.
Great call, by the way, that DeStefano got a big piece of that ball. And it nearly crept around the other side of the post, too.
There's just so much.
Welcome back here, second quarter underway. It's a violation on the face-off against Bryant. It will be possession to Fairfield. JJ Duke with you. Thanks for spending part of your Tuesday evening here with us on the Stag Sports Network and Lacrosse TV. Well, first quarter, Bryant were able to strike in good rhythm, getting goals from 4 different players: McMahon, Lonsinger, Groninger, and Dobrinsky. And this is a team that's much different from the team that they had a season ago under Mike Pressler, who had his final season, his 16th season at the helm of Bryant before retiring, and then most recently just taking over as the head coach for Atlas in the PLL. As that pass took a deflection, will stay with the Stags. But Bryant last year 8-7, 6-1 in the NEC, as the NEC no longer sponsoring men's lacrosse, seeing Bryant originally moving over to America East this season anyways. But yeah, last year Bryant had so many upperclassmen, and a lot of those guys were high-scoring players. That pass deflected behind by Cole Garvey, but you had the likes of Marco Rourke, who's a 4-time All-NEC honoree. Sam Goforth was there. He had a great goalie as well, and Luke Caracciolo. Logan McGovern, who's now at North Carolina with 54 points last year. So the fact that this team for Bryant is just as high scoring as they were last year to keep it going this year is sensational under first-year head coach Brad Ross, who is by no means a rookie in terms of the sport, the former Duke All-American. He's a 2-time Major League Lacrosse champion with Toronto, then the Boston Cannons. He was the previous associate head coach under Mike Pressler between 2011 through 14 at Bryant. Spending 5 years at Ohio State, 3 years most recently at Navy as the offensive coordinator, and he's basically just taken that system that he had with the mids over here to Bryant, and it's paid off nicely. And it's balanced offense as well. You're going to get options from a lot of different players. Breaking his stick was Johnny Hackett trying to collect that pass. It was a bit of an awkward one there, as Hackett looked like he'd take that one cleanly. Then all of a sudden, boom, you see the end of the shaft come loose. Now, Fairfield have had a number of these fortuitous bounces go their way. It's a 6 turnover from the Bulldogs, but Fairfield just not been ruthless in front of goal. There have been 5 saves, though, from Tegan Alexander, so he has certainly played his part. Fairfield have gotten the shots off, but a lot of them have been late in shot clocks, not high-scoring chances. There are areas that they're getting the looks from. As Will Consoli with the lone assist. Bounces that one over, and it's taken away by Tanner Alexander, and he's off to the races here. It's now a 4-on-3. Alexander going to go for goal, and he scores! Well, he scooped, and then he scored. Tanner Alexander, his 2nd goal of the season on his 2nd shot, as he scored against Boston University back on the 18th, and no one stepped to him, so he said, all right, why not me? Bet on yourself, and he did. Tanner Alexander, who's the NECL Rookie honoree last season. 35 ground balls, 15 cause turnovers in all 15 games played for the Bulldogs last season. Looked pretty comfortable as a defender driving forward. Violation against Fairfield off the restart is, again, with the apparent injury, because we have not seen Dylan Smith back on the field taking a face-off after getting hit violently by Luke Mead in the early stages of this game. The Stags have had some issues from the face-off spot. That was Tim Lucky, actually his first action of the season taking the face-off, and the combination of Jacob Alexander and Nathan Lalaberti not been solved quite yet. Lalaberti is 2 of 4, Alexander 3 of 4. Great slide, though, from Fairfield. Trying to cause the turnover, and they do. Daniel Wilson was the one that knocked it away. A dangerous pass. What a pickup by Matt Rice. How about that for some soft hands? Will Snyder just rocketed at his shins there. Rice able to take it cleanly on the half-hop. Might lead to a chance now. That one whistles wide from Bryce Ford. Then home to UMBC in the America East opener, and travel out to UMass Lowell and NJIT, though those are the 2 bottom teams projected in the America East poll, which is led by Vermont, the defending champion. UMBC and Albany, teams that are projected to tie for 2nd in the 8-team circuit, though that does include Merrimack, who are an associate member and still not eligible to compete in postseason competition until next year. Fairfield off that Bryant timeout. Goes to Bryce Ford, trying to get into the alley. Met by the double. Tell you what, this Bryant team, they do not give you an inch to operate. They're going to close you down. Doesn't matter where you are on the field. 16 seconds left. Reverse far side. Fed over to Ford. He rips. Saved by Alexander. Loose rebound, though. Player still jamming at it, and Alexander comes away with it. And Tegan Alexander just took a rocket there from Bryce Ford. Did leave a bit of a juicy rebound, but was able to find it. Four seconds left. Got to get it over, and they do. Here comes Keaton Jones leading the attack. Connor McMahon, he lost his twig. Hit there by Christopher DeBellis, who wears 18. Fairfield trying to generate some on transition. Good save by Alexander once again. Denies Shane Osborne. Bryant, another successful clear. 8 of 9 on the evening. What a play, though, by DeBellis. Coming through and making something happen. Denying Connor McMahon. DeBellis wears 18, the sophomore from New Jersey. And an assist, actually, for Fairfield in the season opening loss to Lehigh. Post to post, McMahon dodging to his left, gets around Osborne. That pass, though, behind Timmy Hackett. And if there's any kind of mark on the negative side for Bryant thus far today, it is the unforced turnovers. That is now their 10th. We've only played 21 minutes of this contest. But again, Fairfield have just not done anything with them. Good dodging by Jake Gilbert coming all the way back. Transition look here for Ford. Reverses back to Gilbert. Shot deflected on the way through. Never got in on goal. Good hunting there by Paparosi. A lone Fairfield goal scorer to keep it going. Ford, nice dodge. Gets on top. Ooh, he had a shimmy out of the way there at the last second as Tanner Alexander were 77. Nearly put him into the crease. First back to Rob Moore. In the far alley now. Fairfield been trying that far alley a bit here in the second quarter. Hasn't really paid off for them just yet. Jake Coleman, junior from Pleasantville, New York, circling the crease. Hesitation there by Moore, allowing the defender to close him down. Bryce Ford with 8 on the clock, scores! Alexander thought that he had it, but he fought it off into the upper corner, and Fairfield stops the run of Bryant. And for Bryce Ford, give him goal number 13 on the season. Well, the hesitation from Rob Moore allowed the defender to slide, but he reversed it back over to Ford, and yeah, you see that there. Alexander got himself square, but just leaned back at the last second to allow the ball to pop off his shoulder into the net. Behind us, you can see Alexander kind of going through a footwork routine just to see if he can get himself square. I tell you this much, he was square. There's a lot of power behind the shot. Tim Lucky winning the faceoff. Fairfield trying to run here, and they get a goal from it. That's how you fire a crowd up. Go back-to-back in quick succession.